So I gave it some time for everybody to digest that Battlefield 2042 will be getting no more seasons after Season 7. And I have a few things to talk about here. Firstly, why it's happened and initial reactions. Secondly, what I think is coming next for Battlefield and my ideas on what I think should happen in the next game. And last but not least, a message to the wider Battlefield community and putting a few things straight. Let's keep this pretty casual. Nothing is scripted here. This is just me talking to you, playing over some old footage. So no more seasons after Season 7. Has there been evidence to suggest that there was going to be a Season 8? No, there hasn't. If I'm honest, I believe that they were probably going to pull the plug a lot earlier than this. I think momentum from the community has basically made them wing it. And what I mean by wing it is they were just trying to keep the game alive for as long as possible to bridge the gap between the next game. It was obviously a huge wait between Season 6 and Season 7, and I think that backs up my claims. So if a Season 8 was to happen, I think it would have been an even longer wait. My opinion, it's the right thing to do. 2042 has not been a fun time for DICE. It's been a learning curve, if nothing else. It does feel a lot like BF5 and the Pacific. I remember I was in LA at EA Play playing the Pacific, and I thought this is it. And I remember the feedback sessions. This is everything Battlefield 5 needed. The gritty World War II battles that everybody knows and is accustomed to, not the untold stories. And then it was dropped. And it was like a kick in the nuts at the time. So for many, the same has happened for 2042. The game launched, as we all know, and are very aware, in the condition it did. Missing features that we've spoke about years ago now. Credit where it's due, they have definitely made a game which, if we would have been delivered this at launch, would have been a very exciting prospect. While I felt a little bit salty over the cancellation of BF5, I definitely don't feel that way about 2042. And that is because DICE have to nail this one. Patience is definitely running out with a lot of the player base, and I will get to that again at the end of the video when I want to answer a few questions and put a few points right. So that brings me on to the next segment of what will DICE do to deliver us the Battlefield that we all want? Well, firstly, you just can't please everybody, so there will be somebody left aggravated because they don't like something. It's just human nature. We all can't agree all of the time. But a great start would be legacy features that all Battlefield titles have had. Get them in there. The familiar things that people just expected from 2042 that weren't there. Basic things like a server browser, it has to be there at launch. A proper class system, 100%, where you can visually identify a class. I don't really need to list all the legacy features that were missing from 2042. There's been a million videos on it, and that dates back over 2 years now, and we all know what was missing at launch. A few things did get added in, or softly added in, or partly added in, like the half-class system we have now. The games have to feel familiar. I know one should not really assume, but I am assuming that DICE have heard the feedback and they have learned from the mistakes. Legacy features will all be implemented in the game very early, before anything else. List them, get them in. There are a lot of studios working on the next Battlefield installment. It's been documented. It's been everywhere. You can't have missed it. The Ridgeline Studio saga, they got closed down. Criterion came in. And now we also have Motive Studios involved. And also Ripple Effect, of course. If it was me, here's how the run of play would happen. I believe when Marcus Leto was brought in to really help start create a narrative for the next installment of Battlefield and the universe that they keep talking about. We know it was his job to concentrate on the single player narrative for Battlefield. I still think that this is happening, but other studios have now taken over that role. So a single player campaign, if it was me, is what I would drop first. It was sorely missing from Battlefield 2042. The drops of lore that we've had in the seasons have been very bitty, and if I'm honest, it's something that I've really not been invested in that so much. If a single player campaign dropped, then I do believe it would be a great way to ease us into whatever's coming next from DICE and the other studios. So if a single player campaign drops, maybe mid 2025, late 2025, 1 month before a multiplayer experience from DICE, would you be opposed to that? I'll be honest again with you guys. Whenever I've got a new Battlefield in the past, I am straight onto multiplayer. That's what I do first. I know a lot of people do the single player campaigns, get the lore, get the story, get the feel, maybe warm up a little bit, and then they go into the multiplayer. Whereas me, I am straight in there. A month, two, maybe longer might pass, and then I'll be like, oh, I'll do some single player now. So releasing that early, I think, would be a really, really good move. It would only be worth separating from the multiplayer game if the campaign was big enough and it warranted people spending that extra money. Next, it would be over to DICE to deliver us whatever they've been cooking up. Like we spoke about earlier, legacy features all a must. Look back at previous Battlefields and maybe take from them the best bits and put them into this new game. I do believe that Battlefield definitely has an identity crisis, and it's one which the developers are having a tough time solving. Everybody listening to this right now, we all have our favorite Battlefields for various different reasons, and guess what? It'll be very rare to have the same views as somebody else. So imagine trying to develop that game. Feedback only gets you so far, but you'll ultimately get it wrong somewhere. I think the game has to be set modern day. I know there's been hints at 2142 because people feel that 2042 is a prequel to that and a sequel to Battlefield 4. My worry is that 2142 wouldn't be received that well if it continues from where 2042 kind of is leaving us off. By the time 2042 was launched, DICE already knew the next Battlefield game. Development starts very, very early, earlier than most people think. And the big worry would be is if, with the feedback from 2042, they change their mind while in development. That is something I'm worried about. And another reason why I feel shifting everybody away from 2042 was the right choice. So, modern day, Battlefield 3 nitty-gritty style weapons, class system from BF4. You could have the squad call-ins from Battlefield 5, really added an extra dimension to the Battlefield. I could literally talk all day and pick something from every Battlefield to include. But all you might end up with is a huge mess. Again, trying to please everybody just ends in tears. Man, who'd be a developer? I tell you what, guys, not me. I'll give credit, DICE make the best trailers I've ever seen. They get me hyped. For many, they felt robbed with the trailer and what they were actually fed. And you can't really argue against that. And guess what? The developers don't argue that either. They couldn't match the trailer, the expectations of it. That has to change. Whatever we see on the trailer has to be represented in the gameplay too. The Battlefield 5 trailer wasn't received well. The 2042 one was, but then, yeah, the rest is history. The two teams, whoever makes the trailer and the gameplay, you've got to link up and really come up with something that you're both happy with there. Link up, get your heads together. If something ain't working out between you, then talk about it and just nail this trailer. Nail this gameplay. Join the dots, basically. Simple. I'd advise testing the game very early doors. The way 2042 was done was super weird to me. It didn't make any sense at all. If I recall, a bunch of playtests got sent out to random people. They got to play 2042. Obviously, days later, it was leaked. It was everywhere, and it was not a good look. If you want to test your game like that, be confident in your game. Literally make it an open beta. Drop it like it's hot. Surprise everybody. Surprise drops go crazy. The world goes mad for them. If you're confident enough in your game, don't be doing all these, oh, it's a closed alpha, it's a closed beta. Don't do that. You really can't afford to. Drop it. I'm talking Apex Legends drop, where you just wake up and you're like, what is this? Yeah, do that. Let everybody get a taste of what's coming. But make sure it's early enough to give yourself enough time to fix any feedback. I asked the question to my community, what is the most important thing from a Battlefield game on release? And their answer was a resounding maps. The maps have to be good. You can almost put up with temporary little bugs here and there if the map you playing gets you, if it hooks you. It is probably one of the most, if not the most important thing at launch. Have 8 to 10 maps that suit various different playstyles. But if anything, BF1 has shown us that we don't just want it to be, here's a map. We want to feel immersed. We want to know why we're fighting. And we want to feel like we're fighting. And that is why, again, I would put the single player game first. Players want a premium service over the live service. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the live service is the business plan going forward. It seems to work for other companies. Why can't it work for Battlefield? Personally, I love premium. Oh man, you knew what you were getting and it was proper good times. That one I will leave open for the comment section, and I know you're all going to say premium. Can DICE and Battlefield pull off a live service this time around? Time will tell. All right, okay, I could keep talking and talking and talking about this, but I want to move on to a couple more things. A Battle Royale experience. Now, listen up. Oh, geez, I know you're going mad in the chat. Battlefield ain't about BRs. They've tried it before. It doesn't need one. It needs to bring new players in. Battlefield desperately needs new players. Period. If we don't bring in new players, I believe that the franchise is in trouble. A great multiplayer would do that. A single player might do that. But the numbers that a BR free-to-play brings in are extraordinary. Keep it completely separate from the multiplayer experience, although you can do tie-ins with ranking up weapons in multiplayer to take into the BR. Yeah, it works. The Call of Duty blueprint just bloody works. Firestorm was a great example of something could have been so good that wasn't supported, and it is sad to this day. Learn from that. You can definitely, especially with the help of Criterion, make an amazing Battle Royale. We've seen it. Those who played Firestorm know it. It just needed that love. So there you go. Make it free to play and make sure your anti-cheat on it is up to scratch, because it really failed Battlefield 5. Again, guys, these are just my opinions. I think if DICE did a few of these steps in this order, then we'd be in for a treat. But, you know, I'm not the boss. All my opinions are based on what I think would help the franchise move forward, because it really needs to. One bad launch is, yeah, devastating. A second, it's pretty soul-destroying. A third, yeah, let's not think about it. All right, now that all that fun stuff and exciting talk is out of the way, we can get on to my favorite part of this video. The wider Battlefield community. Guys, we have to do better. I really hope this isn't true, but have we thought, what if it's not a good game? What if it does fall flat on its face? You've got to always look at the worst case scenario. 2042 launch. I don't think there was one person happy. I can't think of one player that was happy with the state of Battlefield 2042 on its launch. My playtime on it was sporadic. I'd mix it in with some Elden Ring here and there, or whatever I was playing. And believe me when I say I have played every single Battlefield game that exists. And it got to a boiling point where I made a video around about April 2022, which was, what, 5 months after launch, listing everything that really wound me up about the game, but doing it in a constructive way, a respectful way. But guess what? This is stuff that DICE already knew and they'd already promised that they were working on to fix. It got to the point where I was going to stop playing Battlefield 2042 and stop making content. You can probably see in that video, if you watch it, where I'm like, man, am I really moaning about a game? I'm a grown-ass man moaning about a game. And something clicked. A switch flipped in my head. What if I play 2042 how it is and try find fun? Because a mediocre Battlefield, for me, was still better than anything else I could find at that time. So then I went on an upload streak and started playing Portal with my community, creating game modes known as SQUID's Chaos. Having the time of my life, having a great time, interacting with my chat, and just seeing them and their feedback thanking me for creating a place which was balanced and fun for them to play. So I started making content on it. That content started getting attention. How can you be having so much fun? Why are you lying to us about the game being good? It's not good, etc., etc. For 2 years now, I've been nothing but berated for enjoying what the game is, for having fun, for making content showing epic moments when others are suffering because they just can't find the same levels of fun. I've seen developers threatened with the sack, with even worse things. I've seen people threaten others with cancer. It's disgusting. This community was the best in the world. As an entire Battlefield community, it is no longer the best in the world, and we need to put that right. There are many people listening to this who really enjoy Battlefield 2042. It maybe is their first Battlefield. Who is anybody to tell people that they're coping, or supporting a subpar game. Everybody is different. I've been at the forefront getting crap left, right, and center saying, you don't open your mouth, you don't support us. You have no idea how much I actually do support the Battlefield community. How critical I have been in the most respectful way at the right time. When I'm uploading my videos of my best moments, you better believe in between those best moments, I've had some terrible moments, some bugs, some glitches, some things which actually maybe made me laugh. But if I upload every time that happens a video, YouTube and the Battlefield content creation space just becomes an echo chamber. For every one of my happy, fun, epic videos, there is 50 negative ones, cursing, swearing, calling out developers and other content creators. I have a very busy life. I have a wife and 3 young children. I come and play games to entertain my community, to relax myself after a hard day. If I had to create content around every single bad thing that happened on Battlefield 2042, it would consume me and turn me into a person that I do not want to become. So be better. People are different. Content's different. People play games for different reasons. We are nobody to tell people that they shouldn't like something, and that by playing it, by pre-ordering it, that they're supporting subpar content. You don't have to justify your own hate for a game or dislike at things by bringing others down. That just shows insecurity. Love me, hate me, I really don't care. I will always play Battlefield this way. If the next Battlefield game's released bad, I will do a video stating those facts. I will try help the game as much as possible, as I always do. If feedback is asked of me, it will be given constructively and in the right way. And then guess what? I will continue to play it. Because like I said, a mediocre Battlefield is still better than most games on the market. Yes, I want the best, don't we all? But not everybody's going to be pleased. There's plenty of news channels out there who will obviously pick up on every single detail. That's their job as a creator. My job is to entertain. Battlefield provide a game, whether it be the best in the franchise or the worst. I go into that game and I am the content. What I do, what I say, make people laugh, whatever. That's my content. And a huge thank you to all those people who support me, who know, who visit my live streams, who hear me being critical in the respective way in my live streams, who actually know me. I appreciate you. If you're just discovering me for the first time and this is the first video you've listened to, I encourage you to check out another. We live in a world where negativity is popular and people need to really wise up to that. It's not easy standing alone making content which obviously stands out from the crowd. But I'm going to put this one to bed. I'm never going to talk about it again. Love me, hate me, call me a shill, call me a dick rider, call me any of that. I really don't care. You're fighting completely the wrong person. This is why we have to do better. But for those of you who have helped, because I've seen the messages, the pleasure is mine, trust me. And you know what? Doing this little segment of the video goes against my better judgment because people can interpret how they want. This is me coping. This is me settling for subpar games. Just rewind and listen again because let it sink in. If the next game does blow chunks, so how do you cope if that is the case? Be respectful to your fellow humans. At the end of the day, the developers are just that. They're like us. They love Battlefield too. Trust me, I've met them. Be constructive in the correct way. Watch your mouth. Because a lot of people run away with it, and some of the stuff we spoke about that we've seen is just not the way. And all you're doing is backing people into corners and helping destroy something that we all love. Battlefield. If DICE do their job, then we do our job. If the game comes bad, then we be better. Go outside, touch some grass, play a different game, or find fun in that Battlefield game because it's probably still better than most games. Otherwise, why are you all still playing? I just thought this was an appropriate time to address this with 2042 coming to an end and obviously me being at the spotlight of 2042 for many, many people. I think we end with thank you, DICE. I've enjoyed the moments 2042 has given me. It was hard to get there, but when I actually dug deep and put the effort in as a creator with my epic community, it actually was a pretty good time. All right, guys, tomorrow's video is an absolute insanity of a video. And guess what? It's Battlefield 2042. And the title will be something pretty positive because the clip I hit Deserves it. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace. They still don't know. Come on, there's two gunners. Another pilot. Anybody? We're gonna crash. Oh, hang on. You're the pilot. No. I'm gonna take it down. Oh my Lord.